It's Friday, August 21st, and the big story for today, as we see it, is titled Apple Stocks Rally. Just keeps going as valuation touches $2.1 trillion. The writer is Eric J. Savitz, and the story was published in Barrons Online. The reason why we think this is a big story is because buried deep in the text of this story is a reference to something called adoption. And the reference that Savitz makes is that the expectation is that by bundling um, uh, services, and we think those services are Apple TV Plus and Apple News, inside of other services available from Apple. And the one that is most at the forefront of our thinking is Apple Music. The public will be encouraged to hasten adoption of these other services. We think it's not a proper use of the term adoption, and we think that mistake is also indicative of a lack of understanding of what the real issues are with these two products, Apple TV Plus and also Apple News. The name of our company is IMB Enterprises. I'm the CEO and founder, and we have been working in markets where software adoption is a critical component of a success story for the implementation of automation and other reasons for using software for over 20 years. And adoption, the best definition of adoption is the act of switching on the part of the public or individuals from one method of accomplishing something to a new one. The definition also includes the observation that the first way of doing it isn't necessarily defective. Rather, for one reason or another, a decision is made that the activity should be done a different way. So in the world of enterprise software, we have companies like IBM that acquired Lotus Notes, and then we have a company like Microsoft coming in with Microsoft 365, and people are being asked to switch from a solution that works well, Lotus Notes, for its time, for another one, Microsoft 365. There's no reason for it in terms of greater functionality, but the decision has been made at management level, executive level, that this switch has to happen. So the personnel at the organization are expected to go along with the switch. They're expected to adopt the new way of doing things. And that art or that task of convincing them to actually adopt the new platform is a business into itself. So when the same terminology is used for a consumer service like Apple TV Plus, a leisure time service, or a Apple News, which the whole dynamic changes, and you're not going to get people to adopt a product like Apple News or Apple TV Plus unless there's something in there to prompt them to actually make use of it beyond simply burying it inside of a bundle at some lower price point, which makes it attractive or a no-brainer effectively for the public to buy it. They might buy it, and if they don't have to pay anything for it, then it's not necessarily, it isn't at all actually fulfilling the purpose that Apple intended for it. So the use of the term adoption, when in fact what's being referred to as is actually effectively burying the subscription inside something else, puts us in a completely different realm. Who else has done this kind of thing? Well, let's look at Verizon, for example, giving away free subscriptions to Disney Plus with purchases of phones. It's the same thing again, once again. Or for that matter, It's also the same thing as when Apple originally seeded the market for iPhones by subsidizing the price of the product for partners, again, companies like Verizon and AT&T, to make it easier for consumers to actually purchase the products. And that particular example of burying price has gone so far that today consumers are hard pressed to find a major telco, mobile data, voice provider who will sell the phone outright at a price with any discount versus paying over time. T-Mobile started that particular policy that they'll give you the phone at $10 a month, but guess what? You're going to pay for it for over 4 years. But if you approach them as we did actually to try to buy the phones outright, they would not discount the price at all. And we actually ended up going in our company to other vendors to purchase the phones. So let's not confuse an activity like adoption with price burying. And also, investors have to be on the outlook for this kind of thing, because that type of activity, of course, diminishes the value of the new service, because the new service is being sold at a deeply discounted price. So that's our top story for the day. Again, my name's Ira Michael Blonder. I'm the CEO and founder of IMB Enterprises. We have a website, imbenterprises.com. We also have a Twitter page. I have personally a Twitter page, Mike the Bebop. Thank you and have a great weekend.